Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Luna and I are out for a nice walk. The weather's beautiful. The fun fair are in town here. Turn around, see if you can see them behind me there. I actually don't like the fun fair. Um, I've never liked them. I was hurt a couple of times on rides when I was a kid. It just put me right off them. So a couple of times I was sick as well, so I'm not a big fan of them. But the kids love it. But I was going to chat about how freeing it is when you walk away from a toxic situation. Now, when you walk away first, you might have a lot of concerns and you might have a lot of doubts and things like that going through your head about it, because if you've been in a toxic situation for quite a long time, all that negativity has seeped into you, and it's kind of got ingrained into you a wee bit. And when you leave situations like that first, it can be very hard, because what you tend to find is you don't know what belongs to you and what belongs to them, depending on how long you've been in those situations. So what will happen first is you'll go through a period, of healing and clearing and cleansing, and that can be quite difficult, because it's like you're sort of finding yourself again. And that's not easy, because if you've been in a toxic situation for a long time, regardless of who it was with, you can got so caught up in that you kind of lost who you were. And maybe in the back of your mind, you're always saying, "Oh God, I want to get away from here. I just can't. I want to get rid of this person, or I want to get out of this life that I'm in." And maybe it's took, quite a long time for people to do that, depending on your resources and all that sort of thing. But what if you stick with it, what I'll find is once you start to come through that clearing process and you start to heal your emotions and stuff, you'll start to come back and you'll start to feel your true self coming through again. Because when we're in toxic relationships or in toxic situations, we just completely lose who we are. We don't know what's us and what's them, because toxic situations tend to take a lot out of us. They're very, very unhealthy, and it takes a little while for you to. It takes a little while for you to process all of that, come to terms with it, and heal. But what you will find if you stick with it is, after a while, you'll start to feel yourself coming back, and there is such a sense of freedom in that. It's like no other. It's like you're a child again, and the world, your oyster, and you're just ready to step out and explore again. Because what maybe has happened is you've been controlled. You've been controlled by other people, maybe family members or partners, or people wanting, you to always be doing for them. And you've never really sort of been able to just do what you want to do, or if you are, it's took you a long time and you've been struggling because you're always doing for other people. But when you get away from that, as I said, it takes time, but after a while you'll start to feel yourself coming back, and there's such freedom in it. And whereas before you might have felt so down and so controlled and so tired and exhausted with everything, and maybe even your health was affected, once you get that rest and you start to process all that, and that starts to clear out of you and you start to heal, you'll really feel a sense of yourself coming back. And don't be scared of it. Oh God, it's like a motorbike or something going by. It was so loud. And the road's quite a good bit away there. Um, anyway, so you'll start to really feel a sense of yourself coming back, but don't be scared of it because that's all natural and it's you finding yourself again. And maybe you haven't looked at yourself or took care of yourself in such a long time. So it's a real journey of exploration, but it's so freeing. There is nothing like it. You will really feel a sense of like an adventure is starting again. And it doesn't matter what age you are. Don't believe any of that nonsense that, you have to be a certain age. If you believe that, that's what it will be. You can do anything at any age. You can start over at any age. It doesn't matter. You know, don't believe like societal norms that tell you, you have to do this and you have to do that. That's a load of nonsense. You can do anything whenever you want at any time. It's what's in here, you know. So, but you'll have such a sense of freedom. I walked away from toxic relationships. Like I totally walked away. I walked away from my whole life. I walked away from everyone I knew. I mean, I'd still a couple of friends I keep in contact with, but I walked away from everything. The place I live, the job, the people, everything. And I went somewhere completely new and I didn't know anybody. Just me and her, me and the doggo, wherever she is. Hang on. There she is. Can't see her. Can't get her. There she is. Just me and her. And it was quite scary. Um, and I went through a really, purging process of healing, and it was quite horrible, like having to go through all that, but it was necessary for me to be able to come back to myself. And after a while, then I eventually started to see my own self coming back, and it was just so powerful. It was just so worth all of that dredging up of all the emotions and everything. It just, when I got to the other side of it, it was just like, oh my God. And I was just like, it felt so free. I felt like that time when I first left home and I was going out into the world. I remember when I used to work with racehorses, and I remember when I went to do my racing apprenticeship and I headed off, and it just was like an adventure. It just felt like that all over again, where I was just heading out. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know, like, what was going to happen, but I didn't care. As long as I got away from all that toxicity, I didn't care. As long as I was free and I wasn't around that. And by God, I was not going to let anyone like that back into my life again. There was no way, you know. I was going to do what I wanted to do from then on. And it was so freeing. You have no idea how much it gives you confidence, how it makes you feel so self-reliant. And I didn't give a damn if I never met anyone. I didn't give a damn if I didn't have any friends close by or anything. The only thing that mattered to me was the fact that there was nobody around me giving me any hassle. Nobody was telling me what to do. I didn't care. So if you're going through anything like that, if you're walking away or you have walked away and you're going through that healing process or whatever, you will be totally fine. Just keep going. Just believe in yourself. Because what you've got to remember is, if you weren't so strong and so resilient, you wouldn't have been able to give all of that help to those toxic individuals. They wouldn't have been relying on you. So basically what they were doing is they were taking all your knowledge, all your intelligence, all your strength. They were taking it off you and giving it to themselves. So what you do now, when you walk away, you take that all back and you funnel that all into you. That's what you've got to remember. They wouldn't be taken from you if you didn't have something valuable to give. All right? So you take all that and you funnel it into yourself and then watch yourself grow. All the things that you were given to them, you'll now be given to yourself. All right? So stick with it. Stick in there. You'll get through it. Better days ahead. Take care.